Morning, Raptor Freak. Alexiot's here Sunday morning, and we're playing the Philadelphia 76ers in Philadelphia tonight. It's going to be the third matchup between the two teams this season, third of four. So there's two more still to go in this season. The short running out of game season. There's only 12 games left, y'all. And by Stevie Root's count, he says we need 8 for him to be happy. 8 out of the last 12 that we got to win. So he's saying only 4 more losses. But this is an important one because Philadelphia is a division opponent. There's somebody that we'd like to win the series over, and we're right now it's 1-1. So winning tonight's an important game for both teams as far as winning the series, but obviously keep on doing the things that they're trying to do in the standings as far as move up. Because last night Cleveland beat Detroit last night. Detroit couldn't do us a solid last night. Coach Casey, oh man, come on, man, help us out, Case. But no, they couldn't do it. Cleveland now has a 1.5 game lead on us in the 6th seed. So that might as well be like a 2.5 game lead because they have the tiebreaker and stuff like that. So we really got a lot of work to do still. Win some big games against big, tough Eastern Conference opponents if we're going to want to get out of the play-in. It's going to be tough. Good morning, Raymond Jacob. Good to see you. We got this one tonight. Let's go, Raymond. I love your enthusiasm and your positivity. I really hope so. There is a good sign this morning. I'm looking at the injury report, and Joel Embiid is questionable for tonight, y'all. That's right. His back is acting up. It may be that Joel is not going to play tonight. We know that he has some trauma against the Raptors. Yes, he does. Oh, yeah, he does. You know he has some trauma against the Raptors. So he has to think twice about whether he wants to go in there and feel that trauma a little bit or get that physicality from so much length that different guys coming up around him doing stuff. We know Kem Birch was going to probably start tonight if he's going to start also, and we're going to have him matching up with him hopefully as much as he can one-on-one and just try and stifle Joel Embiid as much as they can if he does show up. But right now, he's the only one on the Sixers injury list right now. Joel Embiid, it's his back. He's questionable day to day. Good morning, Sue, everyone. Let's go get a win tonight. We need this. We are road warriors. It's Philadelphia. It's a tough environment. But you know what? The Sixers are kind of up and down right now. They have won 3 out of their last 4, but they have been losing at times also. Of course, that loss to Brooklyn recently when, that whole thing, that trade, that was a pretty big deal, them losing to Brooklyn in Philadelphia. So, they're not totally they're shaky in some weird ways. They're really good and they are clicking in some ways with Harden on the team, but it hasn't been completely smooth. They do have losses to Miami, Brooklyn, and Denver in the last week or so. So we need to be one of those teams that replicates that kind of stuff on them. And hopefully we can do really well. I don't think Philadelphia is one of the top teams in the East. I think they're still in the middle, maybe even like kind of like around 5th or 6th is where they should actually be. The record is a little higher than where they really are, and what I think they rank as far as with the other Eastern teams. Raymond Jacobs saying, "Oh man, I love seeing the crowd to the Joel airplane." Oh, you love seeing the crowd do the Joel airplane. Yeah, from before that, he did that stuff in the middle of that semifinal against them in 2019, and ever since it's been biting him back. Oh yeah, it's like a great taunt for him at this point. Everybody starts doing the airplane and stuff like that. But tonight we're going to be dealing with the Philadelphia people, that Philadelphia Sixers super fan that's down on the court. He's annoying. Different stuff like that. It's kind of cool that we have Thad Young now on our team because he is a longtime Philadelphia 76er, and it'll be interesting to see how he factors into tonight's game. Hopefully he can help us with a veteran presence, maybe a little bit of diplomacy, a little bit of goodwill with the crowd even. Yeah, because maybe they like Thad Young in Philadelphia. Let's see. Callie, good morning. We need to come out strong defensively and make our free throws. Yes, Callie, hitting those keys to victory right there on the nose. The free throws were really bad for us in the last game. They were a part of the reason why we lost a close game to the Lakers in overtime that really shouldn't have happened that way. It really, really shouldn't have happened that way. We should have avoided overtime. Maybe if we had made some of our free throws earlier, and maybe if we just played better defense right from the start, like Callie's saying. I totally agree with you. We got to come out there with a good effort, good energy right away. We can't wait a half and then start playing. We need to get out there and have some good intensity, good activity, good energy on the defensive end to start. It's a really, 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 really important, because the more the other team gets in a flow or a rhythm or feels good, the harder it is to beat them, as evidenced by the game on Friday night. So we can't have James Harden get anything good going for him. Like, we really want to frustrate him. We want him to have a low scoring game and just try and contain him as best as we can. We know on the other end, he's going to dog it and he's going to help us get points on the offensive end. At some point, there's going to be something like that. But we really, really need to make sure that James Harden does not get going. We don't want him feeling good, especially if Embiid's out tonight, because that means they're going to really heavily rely on James Harden. And if we can focus everything on stopping him, and maybe we say, you can have yours, James, but we're not letting any of the other Sixers get anything otherwise. And otherwise is Maxey. Yeah, Maxey is a big, big problem more and more as the season goes on. We saw him earlier in the season. He's got some brilliance to his game. He's kind of fun because he's Scotty's skills partner from the All-Star break, where Scotty wanted to hug him and say, "Oh, I'm going to hug you." And he's like, "No, don't hug me. Don't hug me." And then he hugged him and smiled real big. And Maxey was like, "Ah," and he wiped it off. He was like wiping it off on him. Come on, Maxey, be a friend. But listen, he is dangerous. He's very dangerous, that little guy. He can score real easy. He can get up and down the court. He's somebody we need to try and contain as best as we can. I know Fred is not looking forward to chasing him around on the court. So maybe we switch off with Gary kind of chasing him around also, because Maxey is a big, big problem. He's somebody we really need to be prepared for and take care of. So let's keep going. Sue saying we can beat any team in the league when we are all working together. So let's make it happen. I agree with this, Sue. When we're clicking, when we're playing off each other, I want to see more Pascal and Scotty Barnes synergy on that offensive end. I want to see more great switching defense, great rotations, great no open shots, all contested, all running out there, at least getting a hand in their face. That kind of stuff is all really, really important for us to be active and win this game tonight. I got that championship team over my shoulder right there. They did a real good job against the Sixers in 2019. And we need to have that kind of effort and that kind of thing, especially if Joel plays. But I have a feeling he may not play tonight. It's a weird thing. The other thing we got to talk about is that tonight is the first night of a back-to-back. So tonight we're in Philadelphia. Then we go to Chicago when we play the Bulls tomorrow night. Now, there may be factors with some of our guys may sit out either tonight or tomorrow, depending on what they want to do. Fred VanVleet specifically. But I would wonder, Fred would probably most likely want to play the game in Chicago more than the one in Philly. So there is a possibility that we may get a Fred VanVleet scratch late today, like before the game today. I don't know. I really fully expect them to sit one of those guys, but maybe they don't. Maybe they just say Fred's knee's fine. He can take a two-day game thing, like a back-to-back like this, and it'll be fine at this point because it's healed enough. But it is something that we need to look out for because it is a back-to-back. Fred has that lingering injury, and they have been resting him on one of the games of the back-to-back. It could be tonight that Fred rests. I don't know. It's going to be how they decide it. Who knows? We'll see. Tom Duke is here. Time to get back on track. Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong. We bing bonged somebody out of here yesterday. Oh, yeah. Raymond Jacobs saying Barnes versus Harden. Yes. I think that this is really important what you just said, that if Scotty Barnes is going around the NBA collecting trading cards of all of his favorite players by putting some moves on them and scoring over them, James Harden should be the next target on his list tonight. Oh, yeah. I want to see. This is going to be fun. Because listen, James Harden is such a great offensive player in different ways. He's not a great defensive player, but he's a great offensive player. And when you get to see guys like Scotty and Precious, line up and try and guard him, that'll be real fun to see. Let's see how aggravated James can get tonight. We know he can get frustrated if things aren't going his way. So hopefully that's what's going to happen tonight, that we play really good defense on James and we stymie him and we make him real frustrated, because we've been enjoying all year when the opposing superstars are frustrated. They're slamming the ball, they're cursing, they're shaking. Maybe they're yelling at the ref or something like that. Always love seeing that on the other side because the Raptors defense is annoying, and that is what we want to see tonight. Callie's saying Maxey is a good player. He really is. He's a great player. That I'm really impressed with him. He's the kind of player that Philadelphia needs to hold on to. Don't be stupid and make dumb trades like you have over the years where you have good players and then you let them go. Maxey is a keeper, Philadelphia. Don't be stupid. Hold on to him if you can. Sue's saying, I want to see Barnes shut Harden down. I would love that too. Wouldn't you love to see him get a block on him? Just like, and just, just totally shut him down. Because, Harden can go either one or two ways. Sometimes it's feast or famine with him. It's either he's going to feast or he may have nothing. Like we can hold him to under 20 points. That would be really good tonight. I love to see that. Let's see James Harden get held under 20 points tonight. If that can happen, we have a good chance to win tonight. Especially if Embiid's not out there. So let's see. Good morning, Evelyn. Good to see you again. I'm glad you came back. And we're talking about previewing the game tonight. Went over the injuries a little bit. The only injury on the Philadelphia side is Joel Embiid. Yes, he's questionable for tonight with his back. And then on our side, we have two guys ruled out already. Of course, it's Malachi Flynn and OG Anunoby, who are both going to be out at least for this week until Friday. So we'll see what happens by then. Maybe they'll get reassessed and get added to the lineup again. But they're at least out for the rest of this week. We can expect to see them miss at least 3 more games. So let's see what's going on else. Callie saying, I hope we attack Harden and get him in foul trouble. He's lazy on defense. This is very true. This is a great strategy, Callie. We need the hotline. We need to call Nick Nurse and tell him go at Harden tonight because we want to get him in foul trouble and get him out of the game. That's perfect strategy. It's a beautiful strategy, especially if they don't have Joel Embiid tonight, because they will really heavily rely on James Harden for scoring tonight if Embiid's out. But the other thing is when Embiid plays us, he's never really super good on offense. Although the last game we played against him, he did have a big game. He had over 30 points and they won that one. But we beat them earlier in the very beginning of the season in the first game we played against them. So this is a rubber match. This is the tiebreaker. We 1-1 right now. We want to get this third game because it's important. Because if we don't win this one, then we got to win the fourth one to be tied with them for the season. So let's just get them for the whole season, win the next 2 games against the Sixers, and be 3-1 against them for the season. Let's do that, Raptors. Let's go for it. All right, let's see. Tom Duke saying Scotty had a great answer when asked about LeBron's influence growing up. I was more of a Kobe guy. Yeah, Scotty. We're learning more and more about Scotty. That's a double-edged thing, though, the whole thing about him being a Kobe fan. I really hope that Scotty is really just a player fan, like a Kobe fan and not a Laker fan. Or, like he's a Dirk fan and not a Dallas fan. Something like that. Because, that's the thing. He doesn't seem like he has a real affinity for one specific NBA team. Hopefully it's the Toronto Raptors because he plays for them and he's making his legacy here. Because I don't want him to have like in the back of his mind or something that's like, I always wanted to play for you, Lakers. Or I always wanted to play for you, Miami. That kind of crap going on. Because Lakers Nation has seen him now. The secret is out and they are already lusting for him. Yeah, do not cover thy neighbor's wife. Yeah, they're already coming after Scotty online. They're talking about how they need to get him and they want him to be a Laker in the future. And I may be a little bit preemptive with talking about all this kind of stuff, but we need to be aware of the powers and the forces that be out there that are going to say stuff like this and try and influence things for the future. And we need to have our own side of things to push what we want for our future as a team also on the same side. So yeah, it was a great interview. Scotty, once again, very emotionalist, just very matter of fact, not taking the bait as far as anything with LeBron, whether it was the stuff from Monday night or the stuff from Friday night. Sue's saying, even if Joel plays, we can limit him. We did a great job on the Joker, so we can limit Joel. Joel can be a baby when people tie him up or when he gets frustrated. Yeah, we've had good success. The Marc Gasol playbook has kind of been left behind for us to look at when we need to for reference. And, I think that, Kem Birch with a quick double to come over and kind of annoy Joel Embiid with some physicality, we can maybe really mess him up. Also, our overall length does help with going up against Embiid because we can just switch different guys. Other guys can come from different angles and just make it really hard for him to do any spinning around or any kind of post moves down low. And if he has to rely more on shooting outside, that's great because we want to force him to shoot further out. That's a great game plan for dealing with Joel Embiid is don't let him do anything down near the basket. If he wants to settle for open threes or outside shots, let him, because he may hit a couple of them, but he won't hit most of them. He's going to miss most of his stuff outside unless he's really on, and then we're in trouble. We really got to guard him well. But once again, we don't know how to prepare for tonight. It's kind of like Friday with LeBron being questionable before the game, and then he played. It could be a similar thing that Joel Embiid does show up and play, but regardless, he is on the injury list right now. All right, let's do the real mascot matchup. All right, Tom Duke. All right, listen, last time we saw the Raptor, he was on that Clipper sailboat out in the middle of the ocean, Pacific Ocean, and he had some zombie Laker corpses, headless corpses coming after him. They were coming after him, and he had to make a split decision because, like, listen, these zombies may not have teeth, but if they get their blood on him, they may turn him into a zombie. So he needed to get out of there. So what he did was this: he took his gold nugget, made sure he had it all secure and tight on him, and he jumped off the boat. Yeah, he did. He was like, I don't even want to deal with this. He jumped off the boat. And the thing we have to realize about the Raptor is he's a reptile, and that he has reptilian instincts and stuff like that. And maybe even when he's in the water, he feels a little bit more at home. But he got the fuck away from those Lakers. He let them have the ship. Yeah, you can go ahead have your sailboat back and live your headless zombie life on the water, open water, and do whatever the fuck you do as headless zombie, grifter, racist, whatever. But he's swimming in the water now. Like, he's kind of turning into like a little bit of a crocodile or an alligator in the water, the way he's swimming and paddling around. He realizes he can actually stay underwater for a real long time. So he's kind of enjoying it. In fact, he decides to live his life for a couple of years in the ocean as like a saltwater crocodile raptor. And he's just kind of chilling. He's like, it's a good life. He eats like little sea creatures and he's just living good life. Well, he swims around for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden, he kind of lifts his head out of the water. He sees he's actually traveled from the Pacific Ocean all the way over to the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, he's over on the East Coast now. And while he looks up, he sees that he's kind of off the coast of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Yeah. He's like, he gets up out of the water and he's coming into town, and he realizes he's in Philadelphia. Yeah, he's in Philadelphia, like the Raptors are today. And he sees this old person like with a kite. And he's like with a key on it. And he's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Benjamin Franklin. And he's like inventing electricity or finding electricity with the kite on the string with the key and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, that's cool. And then he's walking along and he sees a guy riding on a horse and stuff like, who are you? And he's like, oh, I'm Paul Revere. He's like, oh, okay. And all this kind of stuff. And he starts seeing all these old, like, politicians. He's like, what the fuck happened? Like, this is old time. I'm not supposed to be here in this time. Like, he must have gone through some sort of wormhole while he's swimming around out in the ocean, that he went back in time. Yes, he swam underneath, he went over the other coast, and he went back in time, and he's in colonial times with some people. Yeah, they're the 76ers, the 1776ers or something like that. And they have a cracked Liberty Bell, and it's all American history. So like, now the Raptor is living the life of like Quantum Leap, like Scott Bakula, or like, that old time traveling kid with the afro and the amulet. I don't know if you guys remember that show, The Voyagers. I think that's what they call them. Yeah, all of a sudden he's living in history. So now what is the Raptor going to do? He's stuck in the year 1776. What is he gonna do? There's your cliffhanger, y'all. He's stuck in time. How will he figure out a way to get back to present time? Because he's stuck in the past with the 76ers in 1776. There you go. There's your real mascot matchup. The cliffhanger is, how the fuck is he going to get back to present day? All right, there you go. That's so stupid and fun. All right, it's good stuff. All right, Tom Duke saying, hi, here we go. Zombies, gold, so much action. Yeah, there you go, Tom. He went back in time. He's doing that Scott Bakula with Dean Stockwell. It is Quantum Leap. Oh, yeah. How did Tom Duke just said, how did you just come up with that wild, too funny Quantum Leap? Yeah, you like that show? That was a good show. Dean Stockwell died last year. It's really sad, unfortunately. Great actor and different things like that. All right, there's the real mascot matchup. Now we'll see how he gets out of being in a place in time in American history. Okay, let's just looking at the game a little bit more for tonight. Once again, if Embiid does play, keep him from away from the post. Let him shoot outside. Really contain Maxey. Don't let him like move around too much. Like, if he has the ball, stop him. Like if he's bringing the ball up the court, stop him, stop the ball, and don't let them get like transition, quick, easy baskets, just laying it up. And if he is open, don't let him shoot because it's really not a good idea to let a lot of the Sixers shoot open threes. We can beat them on the 3-point line. That'll be a huge key stat for us because like we haven't shot totally well at the 3-point line, but if Gary and Fred can wake up tonight and we can get more 3-pointers than the 76ers, that'll be a really good stat for us to win because we don't want them to get more 3-pointers with guys like Maxey, Harden, and Yang, whatever the fuck that guy's name is. Yang, that guy bugs the shit out of me off the bench. He's a guy we need to watch out for also as far as shooting threes. We do not want him hitting any threes tonight because George's Yang or whatever his name is. Yeah, we don't like that guy. And then, of course, they've got Thibault back, which is different than a couple of times we've seen them. They're pretty healthy. Like I said, Embiid's the only one on their injury report. Thibault is an issue with his athleticism and his little bit of his length. And then Tobias Harris, of course, is a good player and somebody we need to take care of and look out for. I'm not even going to mention Danny Green, but I will mention Korkmaz because Korkmaz can be an issue off the bench also. And we seem to have problems sometimes with Isaiah Joe and Shake Milton. Those guys can be annoying also. So they have a lot of different little guys that can run around and do annoying things. And then their latest acquisition is DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan left the Lakers and he's now on the Sixers. So we'll see him tonight. And he's really replacing that backup center role that Andre Drummond was doing at the beginning of the year and when he got traded to the Nets. So that's what we're looking at right now. G saying, I feel like this is a type of a good matchup for Gary. Yeah, I like that. I like it too. I mean, especially if Harden's guarding him. Let's see who Harden is guarding and let's try and feed them. That's another good way, like Sue's saying, get him, or Callie, whoever said it, get him in foul trouble. Callie said it. Callie, get James Harden in foul trouble by going to Gary Trent Jr. if he's being guarded by him. And the great thing about Gary is he can do it in ways like by going to the basket and like driving, because that's the easiest way to get some fouls on him is driving the basket. It's harder to get him when he's doing his steps and shoot, all that kind of stuff he does on the outside, step to the side, step back kind of stuff, because you're really dependent on the defender to overplay. And you don't want it to be doing any of the kicking leg stuff that he did recently. That's a bad thing to do in the league at this point. Sue's saying Sixers do have a good bench. Our bench needs to step up tonight. Yeah. I'd love to see Thaddeus Young have a homecoming in Philadelphia and kick some motherfucking ass. It'd be great if we saw like some of the guys that haven't been playing recently come in and just all of a sudden hit shots. Like it'd be really cool if we saw Svi come in and right off the bat, he's actually hitting his shots and being very helpful to us to win. Because he has it in him, and maybe his number will get called tonight. Who knows? So as long as we're getting bench production in general from any of these guys that are coming off of it, whether it's Boucher, whether it's Delano, Precious, that kind of stuff. If we can beat them off the bench with scoring, that's another great stat that we can win. And of course, the rebounds. If we can out-rebound Philadelphia, that will go a long way to us winning. Making more field goal attempts because of offensive rebounds and steals, all that good stuff that we do really well that helps us win. We can shoot worse than the Sixers and still win as long as we get more opportunities to shoot. And that's basically manufacturing more shot opportunities through opportunity as far as steals and offensive rebounds. Let's see. Tom Duke's saying, need to keep getting the offensive rebounds. Scotty getting 17 rebounds again would be nice. Yeah, we need to crash the board, especially if Embiid's not playing tonight. Like, we really, really need to get all those rebounds and be the team that's out-rebounding them. And the crowd's going to be interesting tonight. It's going to be a loud one. It'll be fun. I'm excited about tonight. I really feel like these guys kind of are pissed off about how they lost the Lakers on Friday. They've been very quiet on the social media for the most part this weekend, which is good because I don't want to see them having a good time and feeling so good after a loss. I'm glad that that stings and they feel it and that they take it seriously because that's very important. One thing I did see is they came out with these really cool graphics on Raptors.com, like on their Instagram, of like colorful graphics with like Pascal and Fred and Scotty and different ones. Really cool artwork, really Awesome creative stuff by a creator out there that made them. And then, of course, there's a brand new open gym that came out on Friday night about the West Coast trip. All business. It's the business trip episode. Really nice shots and always fun to see the inside stuff behind the scenes with them. And they did show the trip to the Tupac museum in that episode. So check it out if you haven't already. Open Gym's latest episode, Business Trip, came out on Friday night. Fantastic stuff as always. Always fun to see the inside, behind the scenes stuff as far as like with the team when they won those games and how they're feeling in the back and just like the good vibes and the good times. Really, really good episode. So I highly recommend that also. All right, guys, it's 25 minutes. It's just a preview. It doesn't have to be super long. Sometimes I worry that my content is way too long. Like as soon as somebody sees how long my clips are, they're like, whoa, this is a turnoff. I can't watch this long and stuff like that. So there may be a little bit of an evolution with this channel as time goes on. I am going to try and make things tighter and tighter, but I want to keep exactly how it's been going too, also the same way. So there's going to be balance with it as far as things. But you know what? We can get under an hour, half an hour. That's great. All right. So, all right, keys to victory. Keep them out of the inside with the Joel Embiid. Make sure we beat them in three-point shooting. We do not want them to shoot better than us from threes. And that means really getting after their outside shooters and not letting them get open, clean shots. And then out rebounding, out hustling, and just out energy. And play our game, Raptors. Get up and down the court. Play off each other. Play off each other. Get those passes off each other. And also be aggressive, guys. Stop being so quick to pass it to the next guy. I know that's part of the philosophy with the next action philosophy of Nick Nurse's offense now, but you guys are passing up much better high percentage shots for an extra pass to somebody who may be in traffic and having a harder time to score. So take that easy one if you got it. Don't hesitate. And I'm talking specifically Kem Birch, and I will talk to other players that I see do this sometimes, like Gary Trent on the outside will pass it the extra time. When I wish he would just shoot it, even if he's missing a lot, because we know he'll get right back on track at some point during the game, making a shot again. All right, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, share, please. On my way to getting 1,000 followers. I got a ton of them this week, y'all. This Lakers week was really good for the channel. Tons of people subscribe. Even that crazy Knicks fan yesterday, he did actually subscribe. He's on my subscribe list now. I don't know if he's able to watch anymore, but we'll see. All right, and let's get that win and then go to Chicago. And we got a back-to-back tomorrow. So no rest for the wicked. We got to just keep going, y'all. And as long as we can try and get the W's more often than the L's, we'll be in good shape. And like I said, we get to win tonight. That's 40 wins and 2 more. That means we have insured a over 500 season. And that is a huge, important goal. We got 12 games to do it. I really feel good about it. But Stevie Roots says we got to get 8 out of the 12 Raptors. So go out there and get 8 out of the 12. All right, y'all. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the game tonight. And I'll be back tomorrow with the reaction and the preview for the Chicago game tomorrow morning. All right, Tom. Thanks, man. All the best, everybody. Have a great Sunday. And let's go, Raptors. We got to beat the Sixers, baby. Let's beat the Sixers, baby. Woo! Yeah.